how to have a long-term nail career, how to stay in this game for a very long time. Tracy and I are going to talk about this right now on the Biz Talk. I am going to speak first. And Tracy, you don't need any strategy for staying in the young nails game long term because you just love it here and you have just a passion for showing up. And I feel that off of you. I feel the young nails love vibe walking through the halls. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Except I get fired like 3 times a week.
3 times a day.
And I quit about
3 times a day.
No, I do have a passion for it.
I know.
Or I wouldn't be here. Jesus, believe me, I would not be here.
No, you don't. You only work off of that, you know, like that lit sort of fire ongoing. And the one thing that we have here at Young Nails is challenges, right?
Yes.
We're not short on challenges.
No.
Some are like the type that are insane and we need to solve problems now. Others are, hey, we want to get to this point. We want to go here. And that's a different kind of challenge, but there's no shortage of those here.
Right.
So
keeps me fired up.
It keeps you fired up, definitely. On today's topic, staying in the nail game long term. Now, this is going to be a great episode for anybody in this business, especially if you're starting out and you absolutely love nails, right?
Yeah. To
stay in the game a long time, it's challenging, right? Because once you build up a clientele, first of all, building a clientele, big hurdle, keeping clientele, and then once you have the clientele, you're working insane hours.
Right.
And then keeping just physically, you're sitting, you know, your posture, some tools that can help you avoid injury, the mental game. There's so many things, right? So I think this is going to be an extremely good guide for anybody that if you're passionate about nails, this episode is for you. So off the top of your head, when I say that, Trace, like, hey, if I came to you and I was like, what can I do? I love nails. I want to stay in this game a long time. You know, what advice are you going to basically give? I know there's a lot of different places to go, but what would you start with? And then we can kind of dive in deeper.
Boundaries.
Interesting. I did not expect that answer. So please expand. So
when you're first starting out, I mean, we've all talked about you got to pay your dues and things like that. But if you do not set guidelines, boundaries, you're going to hit burnout pretty quick.
Okay, so give some examples because this is super interesting.
So if you let your clientele walk all over you, you're going to hit a burnout really, really quick. If you have not set up those rules, whether it's about children coming in, your cancellation policies, your late policy, your any of it, it's gonna wear on you extremely. You're gonna lose your joy very quickly.
So what I'm hearing is if you're allowing a particular amount of unhealthy chaos enter your nail business, right? And that sounds to me like if clients are walking all over you in the sense of like, you know, determining like, no, I want this and no, I want that. No, that shouldn't be like that. Why you need to fix this right now? Or
this isn't how my last girl did it.
This isn't how my last girl did it.
So many of those.
Bringing kids in, that's a lot of chaos.
Showing up late and you're constantly like, oh my gosh, I have to go, I have to run. I mean, you can do that a day or two. Like sometimes things happen, but if clientele will get in, I love customers. Like and
of course,
I don't ever mean offense to anybody that's watching it because I've seen some customers are like, you shouldn't talk about customers that way. But if you allow customers to do that, they learn it's allowed. They learn that. She didn't say anything. It's okay. Next time, it's instead of 5 minutes late, it's 10 minutes late. She didn't say anything. It's okay.
It's okay.
Oh, I'm going to go buy Starbucks and get a coffee, even though I'm already 10 minutes late, because it's okay with her. It's not okay. She just hasn't learned how to communicate that it's not okay.
Right. And every time that client, that's a great example of showing up late, right? Every single time that client shows up 5-10 minutes late, the anxiety
It's extreme.
is extreme because the nail business, being that it's a service business, it's also you're timed. Your appointments are on the hour or whatever, however you schedule it, but there is a timing. If clients are walking in every time and they're like, oh my God, I have to wait another 10, 15, 20 minutes, like she's not on time again, dude, it's going to wear on the clients.
And you see them.
Yeah.
You see them sitting there and you just, I even hated it when clients showed up early, because then you felt like you were late. No problem showing up early. I prefer you early, but you do, all of a sudden you're like, am I late? Am I running late? Like you get that immediate anxiety. Now, if you really are running late, then, oh my gosh, you're just over the top. And then you start making mistakes because you're feeling this anxiety. Your customers feeling it come off of you. And then for some reason, this is when they want to start getting like, I'm not sure what I want. And, oh, I hit the nail. Like there's this just spiraling out of control.
Right. Have you seen a lot of techs or talked to a lot of techs that like at trade shows or classes that have come to you like with this issue of like, I can't take this anymore, or this is so hard, I don't know what to do. My clients are always late, or, I tell them I'm not charging enough is another one.
That was my next one.
Yeah.
If you're not making enough money, if you've not set your pricing right, you are going to be over it. And I know you love doing it, and that's anything. When we first start doing something, we're extremely excited about it. Oh, I don't mind that they didn't pay me. I'm practicing. But when it's your career, when it's the switch changes, that it's a job that you just happen to love to do, and you're not charging correctly, it's going to get old.
Yesterday we had a social media marketing class, and one of the attendees had a great question. This is really a question for you, but since I know your take on this, which I think is so good on charging, I knew how to answer it. And she was like, how do I need to, right now, all my clients, I've been giving them promos. I've been like to build, and I've been giving deals, and then I've been giving nail art as included. How do I stop that? And I said, so I'm great. You're asking the question because I can see it, right? She wants to set that boundary.
She's trying.
She's trying, and it's because it's bothering her. To your point, if you don't set the boundary being if you don't lay down the guidelines and actually set this for your clients, you're going to feel like you're giving them something they shouldn't get necessarily. It's going to eat at you. Wow, I'm not making enough money, which leads to burnout. Right.
And you're angry at them.
You're angry at them.
It's not their fault.
Resentment. It's not their fault.
It's not their fault. It's your fault because you are not charging enough. That's on you. They're giving you what you asked for.
Totally. Okay. And I was able to tell her, look, you have to give them notice, right? Mm-hmm. And you can put up a notice at your table. When they come in, you show them the notice, you explain to them in 60 days or in 30 days, whatever you decide, whatever you're comfortable with. This is going to be my new pricing. I'm going to be charging this much for nail art, and I just want to be sure to communicate with you, and I'm going to be giving you the same amazing service. You can always depend on me for great, but my business is, requiring, I have to do this with all the changes going on. And then you check them off the list that you had that conversation with them. And that way they
not
can't
a text,
come back.
not an email.
Correct.
Posted.
Boom. Posted that you had the conversation with them. And she was like, awesome. Thank you. Yeah. And I could see the change. It was like, she's about to set this guideline.
Yeah.
And
it's putting your business big girl panties on. I was waiting for him to sip the coffee until I said that. I wanted to see it.
It's gonna spit out.
But it is the switch inside of you. Like once you make that switch of business Tracy, right?
Yep.
You no longer have that anxiety.
Yeah, that's it. It dissolves it very quickly. It's almost like you're taking a stand for yourself and your business, And gosh, man, it's so funny. I was thinking about this on the way here. I don't know why I was thinking about this today, But driving into work today, I was thinking about, when I first started with the company, part of our problem, Trace, was like there were customers, there were vendors, suppliers that were running all over myself, my brother, and my mom. And there were customers that weren't paying their bills. There were vendors that were like, you need to pay me now and prepay and aggressive. And so it was like no money coming in, but everybody wanting their money going out. It was so insanely stressful, right? And it got to a point where I was like, I'm done.
Can't do that long term.
Nope, cannot do it long term. And to your point, a switch was flipped. And I went in and negotiated with the vendor and said, we need terms. We're getting net 30 and you will get paid on time, but this is how it's going to be. And I went to the customers and it was like, you need to pay your bills or you're not getting product. And it was business Habib, but it was like I was standing up for our business, and the amount of stress it relieved was insane.
And immediate, right?
Immediately. I was like, I did good for myself and my family and my company.
And again, I know I say this a lot, but it's not in a question form.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't, I'm switching my pricing. This is my policy. Is that okay?
Is that okay? Right.
It's never that. Oh, I don't allow children. Is that okay? It's, these are the rules. These are guidelines. Now, I know I sound harsh sometimes. I see the comments. It's not about that. I love my customers. I loved them.
Yeah.
They're great customers. But I wanted to be in this in a long-term situation. And I realized very quickly, if I didn't do this, and believe me, for 2 years, I didn't have these things in line. So I'm not saying I started out this way. I had that anxiety.
You had to learn.
I had those fears. I had to learn. Mm-hmm. I had to self-protect.
Yeah.
I had to put on that armor, and it was in a nice way, but it was never with a question.
I think there's a misunderstanding, though, of people think if you're going to set boundaries and set borders that it's mean. Yeah. And so it's why, first of all, why a lot of people have trouble doing it, because they think, oh, it's mean, or it sounds mean, or you're going to charge what? Like that's not nice to clients. You can communicate guidelines and your rules of how you run your business very, very nicely.
Right.
You can do it in a very courteous, and respectful way. And you should. Absolutely. I think that's the main point here. Communicate those things. Do it nicely, like with a smile,
Prices
respectfully.
Are going up.
Yay! well, like the example I gave this attendee yesterday, I actually did it. I was basically telling her the way that you tell a client is like, hey, just want to let you know, my prices are going to go up in 60 days, but I want to assure you, I'm going to make sure that your nails are going to be the best. I take so much pride in my work. Also, the amount of education that I am like getting myself into to learn and keep my craft is for you. These things are for you. I love my client. The way I'm saying that is not disrespect. It is like the client's going to be like, dude, charge me more.
Yeah. And I'm going to be able to bring more items for you.
Correct.
And what's funny is 99% of your clients, you guys probably don't believe me, will say, well, it's about time.
Yeah, totally.
Like, damn it, I should have done it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
What was I doing?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, my friend gets charged more than that. And it's very interesting in the comments we see when we talk about pricing is people are like, it's almost an anger. And this is from nail techs, not customers. And they get a little defensive about it. And I'm not saying you have to charge what I charge in your town, or that you can charge what I charge in your town. But if you're angry about it, but someone in your town is getting more money, that does not make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
All we're doing is trying to encourage you to make the most money as possible in your career. Are you mad that a CEO makes more money, in a company?
Right.
Like, no, you shouldn't be, Habib, you shouldn't be making what you're making.
Right.
But that's why not? Other
Right.
CEOs are making what it
I
never
understand
made
the point.
sense
Yeah,
to
yeah,
me. Like,
yeah.
why are you angry at me?
Right.
Because I get that. Look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Like, let's get you there. I want
Yeah.
you there. It's not about me. It's about you.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is that that's always the point and the purpose is like, we want you to have a long career. We want you to have, part of that is making more money for you. It's not implying we want you to rip your clients off. No. We're telling you, charge the appropriate, give quality work, get your education in, make sure the nails last. Like, you got to give quality work, but charge for that quality work, right?
Yeah.
What about, Trace, as far as longevity in this career physically? Because you're sitting down, you're doing nails all day.
Yep.
Are there certain chairs, tools, like what can the nail professional do? Obviously exercise. I mean, this is a physical career. What can they do?
We get this a lot, actually, because I answer some of the DMs and people will say, my client's so stiff and I can't get them to loosen up and all these different things. If you, again, it's just straight conversation. My clients, I would tell them, I would just stop. I'd stop the service. I would you have to be gummy. Some people don't know who that is, probably. I'm showing my age.
Gumby.
Exactly.
He was.
A little pokey. But you need to be loose. Because why? Because you're hurting me and I need to stay in this career.
Why is that hurting you? If
they're stiff,
Yeah.
it hurts your wrists. It kills your
just
wrists.
that tension comes right
Yeah,
through.
you're like trying to fight them the whole time. And then you're just like, the minute you have to start doing this, something's wrong. You're doing something wrong. I ended up with carpal tunnel in both wrists. And I was looking at surgery, and that's because I wasn't using an electrofile. For 6 years, I didn't use an electrofile. I didn't know how. I told my clients, that's bad, so bad. And back then, there was more of a movement of that's a no-no. Nowadays, there's a lot of techs that use it. But so 6 years of holding it like this, and my wrist just got destroyed. Greg teaching me the electrofile is actually what saved my career. So what does that mean? I have people ask me, like, well, what happens when a client comes in and refuses? I'm not the nail tech for you then.
Right.
Quick conversation of, let me show you on your hand. It's
Right.
just a light touch. I can do just as much damage with this as I can with this. I have the experience. We're good. I still don't want you to use it. Okay, well, this isn't going to work out. Because
Right.
this is my implement. This is an extension of me. This is my tool. I'm not going to go ask someone to take a butter knife to chop down a tree. He's going to use a chainsaw.
Right.
So, so you have to have that, again, simple conversation boundaries. Sitting correctly at your chair. Sometimes we let the clients just wait.
All the way back.
You need to come forward. I need you to meet me. That's part of getting a proper desk. You know how I'm so picky about my desk width.
Totally.
I have 22 inches is my max. I like 18 to 22 inches on my desk. Why? I'm short. I can't reach that far. And if I'm trying to reach across or sitting on my foot to get across, because
bad.
the client I need it right where I need it without me having to move. Sitting up straight, we start tweaking ourselves. So we start doing this, and you're hurting your lower back. Why are we doing that? Because we're letting clients sit however they want. Clients need to sit like this, not like this. If this was a desk, right? I need my clients' hands like this. Why? I can actually move the wrist. The minute they do this, I can't move the wrist.
Yeah.
All these little things. Same with you. Even when you're using an electrofile, you're comfortable. It's almost like using a pen, how you would write a letter. So all these different things. It doesn't seem like a big thing, but do that for 10 hours.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Over.
Is there chairs on wheels? Like I'm just looking at simple things. Like that way the client, you can maneuver them easily. They're still very comfortable. They can just...
I don't like wheels.
Okay.
For clients. I like swivel. I don't like
swivel. Okay, perfect.
And that's because I can tell them just swivel this way, swivel that way. I don't want wheels because when I tell them to scoot up,
the keep.
I don't want them to be able to roll back.
Right.
Now my chair has rollers, so I can move wherever I need to do. That's preference. That's my preference. There's chairs. Get yourself a good chair.
Yeah.
You get a good chair because you're in it all day long. I know people that use balls, that's more of a core balance, and they like how, so get something that works for you, but get something good, because that's what you're doing all day.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I always tell well, my customer's a little uncomfortable. And like, they're there for an hour, you're there for 10 hours.
That's right.
Who needs to be comfortable? It doesn't hurt them.
Right.
It doesn't hurt them.
Right. And you can, I mean, I don't think you can set up a situation where the client is still comfortable.
Yeah.
But you just need them in a certain position. So whether that's getting a particular chair or, tweaking your setup, find that balance where they're comfortable, but also you've got to be comfortable and ergonomic. Right. So that, because you're doing it for 8-10 hours a day, like you'll get annihilated.
Right. And it's simple things like, I know when we first start out, sometimes we can't get 2 lights, but when you can, do it.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's more comfortable for the client, but it's more comfortable for you because you're not trying to work over a light, get this hand to that. You were able to work faster. It's more comfortable. There's all these little things.
Yeah, I love that.
Your lungs, dust extractors.
Right.
Melissa, actually, we were just talking about that. We were driving back from LA, and she was talking about how when she was younger, she never used one because she thought it was stupid. Like, I don't need one. And now she has asthma. She has problems. I don't know if it's associated with that, but she's like, I wish I would have took better care of myself and used a dust extractor.
Right.
All these things, stretching, whether you're doing yoga, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Mental breaks.
Yeah.
If you are about to have a mental meltdown, it's time to take a day off.
Yeah. Or 2.
Or 2.
Or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think all of these things are incredibly important and key to a long-term career. The biggest ones for me are setting the boundaries and making sure that you let your clients know, sort of the rules of your business in a courteous, polite, nice way, but setting those boundaries, setting the pricing correctly, utilizing an e-file, getting a dust extractor of some sort of ventilation system, I think is going to be helpful as well. Let us know in the comments below, what are the things that you've done in your career, if you've had a long-term career that have allowed you to have a long-term career. Let us know in the comments below to help others understand as well. Thank you very much, Tracy.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Biz Talk.